Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, of course, is going to be everything you love is actually terrible. Hate to break it to you like this, but we're gonna tell you exactly why. I already introduced myself. Let me introduce my co-host, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, good afternoon. Happy Sunday. How we feeling today? How you doing?
I'm feeling good, doing well. Yeah, things are pretty good.
That's good.
Hopefully I'll have a job soon.
That's good, man. I know the hunt's...
That's where I'm at. I'm interviewing with like 3 places. So, which is actually good. This is the most I've ever interviewed like anywhere in my life.
Dude,
like,
I mean,
all at the same time.
keep seeing, and I'm not like an economist, if you will. I just keep seeing different articles about how hard it is to find a job right now. So you're doing everything you can. I'm sorry that you're still looking. It's annoying, but like you're kicking.
My advice: if you think you want a new job, you don't stay at your job. It's actually like it may be better to just put that off until the world is more stable. I don't know what that means, but you know what? Yeah, it's like I often think I was like I wouldn't be in this mess if I didn't aspire to more things, Drea.
It's true, man. But I mean, you know, but like, it's a tough balance though, because like you don't want to stay somewhere where your soul is being sucked out of your body every day. You know what I mean?
But it's like then your soul is being
the...
sucked out of your body trying to find a job.
So yeah, I guess
it's not easy.
All right, you're right.
Anyway, we don't need to get into that, but how are you doing? How's your weekend? We're winding down the summer here. It's a bit hot, as you can tell by Trio's attire.
Absolutely, yeah. I wanted to, like I said, give everyone a ticket to the non-existent gun show today. No, it's a beautiful weekend. We're halfway through September already, which is psychotic. We haven't.
Oh my God, we are
right. Like,
it's
isn't that
15th.
That's insane? We haven't recorded the last couple weeks, or the last week, right? Or I can't remember.
Dude, I was thinking, I was like, I feel like we haven't recorded in like a month, but that's not true at all. We finally are like slowing down. Like
definitely.
We have a rewind review in progress, which is just one more. So is it really in progress?
And then like 8 different games came out this last 3 weeks.
And there's been no movies.
Right.
We're about to hit a point where we're probably going to do like a few shows within a few weeks of each other.
Right.
But yeah, I guess we haven't been recording a lot, just not because of busyness, but
no, absolutely.
Yeah, there just hasn't been a lot going on.
Yeah, and we're still chipping away on a lot of things, but playing a lot of stuff. So yeah, life's treating us
well. Too much.
The girlfriend moved in a couple weeks ago, which has been fun and been very cool. And other than that, nothing really major or big. So,
you guys got any weddings this year?
We do next year. We have not this year. Next year.
Not this year.
We have nothing at the end of this year.
Yeah, I got one more. Austin Keith got married last week.
Congrats, Austin.
Yeah, congrats to him and his lovely wife Ree.
Absolutely.
They're in Italy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually think I saw him posting on his story.
I don't know when
beautiful.
I guess they probably should be back soon-ish. But yeah, that kind of capped my summer, and we're moving into the fall, and it is fucking midway through September already. That is a wild,
I hate it,
thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else before we like to talk about what we're doing, playing, watching? Anything else like that?
No, Gooch, I think that's it. Life is just been the nuts.
I feel like I'm being awkward.
No,
like,
you aren't at all.
I don't know what to say.
No, you're not.
I'm like, what do I say next?
Because it's funny, because then you're like, all right, so where do we then go? We got to lead in. Okay, now what are we planning to do?
What do I lean into? Maybe it has been a while.
I think it is. It's just a little bit out of practice. Has it been 2 weeks or 1 week? Only 1 week, right? We did
like a week and a half because we recorded on like a Thursday, right?
Right.
Like
so we just got to get back in the mojo. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's all right. Anyways. What have you been playing, watching, doing? You just tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to do some housekeeping on the podcast because we released a first ever kind of thing on DNN.
Yeah.
We re-released a Re 3. Re-release Re 3. So I kind of had an idea, and I've seen this idea instituted on other channels where like there's like a video essay thing on like a game series, let's say Witcher, and then like at the end when they do all 3. They'll do a one big video like just combining all 3 videos.
It's funny you say this because one of my favorite channels I watch all the time, Mr. Sunday Movies.
Yeah.
He does this with a lot of his stuff where he'll do Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. They'll do their caravan of garbage, they call it. And then, on their off time, they usually release all of them at once.
Right.
And in like a big video.
I thought, I'm like, this would be a good idea to like sort of re-inject that content when it was appropriate. So Delta was the first one to arrive and we knew that was coming. So I was kind of like, all right, we should we should do this for the first time with the MGS3 one and then just put it out there. So if you'd like to hear us play the original Metal Gear Solid 3 for the first time, you can go do that. It's about 5 hours long. It's in 3 parts, and in the time code you can kind of see where each episode, it's chopped up in the way we recorded it. So I did like
The timestamp.
Virtuous Mission,
Right.
and then I think actually maybe Operation Snake Eater is one. But there's technically 2 parts in there. Maybe that's how I chopped it up. But most of the episodes would just be like Oblivion's will be like each session.
Right.
Halo is by the levels, and that's exactly like.
Was
the
it annoying?
episode
I
order.
never asked, like, because we didn't post a lot of longer podcasts before because
Oh, is
just
it annoying?
uploading them is a shit
Yes.
show. So, like, what did you have to change or you don't have to get into it too technically, but
No,
I'm
no,
like, was it like a really annoying to get that through? Or like,
The problem is, so I ran into issues with Vegas, and I have an older version of Vegas. Once I get a job, I have this list of things that I like, things I need to do once I get a job.
right.
And it's all financial things.
Sure.
And one of them
it
is like, I want to upgrade Vegas to like the latest. Like I'm like, I have Vegas 18, and I think like 23 is the newest one.
Oh, okay.
So like I don't think it's necessarily out of date, but I was rendering a 5-hour video, which takes about that similar time, if
Right.
not a bit more or a bit less. And like the video, like the render would like fuck up, and I wasn't sure why. I ended up like switching to Premiere with some of them and did in there and had no issue. Obviously, as you know, the audio files are big, like almost like half a gig.
Yeah.
So I have to put them in Audition and then reduce them. So like the quality is a bit reduced.
Sure.
See, like I'm curious. Like I tried my damnedest to like look up and see like how are other people getting around this. I
Right,
can't
yeah.
be the first one who uses Squarespace who ran into this issue, and I couldn't find a fucking thing.
That's interesting.
It's either
I wonder if people just aren't posting that long of podcasts that often. Truthfully
on
enough.
Squarespace.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, so that's interesting and annoying, though. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. I mean, we found a way around it, but you know. But yeah, not a huge deal, but it is like kind of time consuming to do the renders, and the Halo ones have been not too bad.
So how are you doing? I meant to, like, you were doing just per game?
I'm just slapping the files all together
And doing, like, a per game one? Or you're doing, like...
oh, for Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I want to do the entire series.
Yeah, I was
'cause,
gonna
like then
that
I'll
would
have
be
to
ins-
edit. Yeah.
no,
Like
I was
I
gonna
don't know.
say-
I don't think that's necessary.
No, that makes sense to do them, like, Halo 1, Halo 2. Yeah.
But like for Wolf Among Us, it'll just be
One big.
Wolf Among Us Season 1.
Right.
Like I'll retitle it like that because that's what
Absolutely,
it is.
yeah.
Whenever that second game will come out. So yeah, when it makes sense, going back to the timing of it, say Halo pops in the news. Hey, like say that CE
Gotta
remake,
capitalize on that
remaster has
SEO.
been floating around. When
Yeah.
it gets a trailer, we'll just hit go.
Yeah.
Trio's been uploading the audios, I've been uploading the videos, and it's just like when it's ready, on a moment's notice, we just have it ready to go.
Right.
And that's sort of not really what happened with MGS3. I mean, it did.
It was more of a plan, for sure.
but like
yeah.
we like kind of knew, right, because the game was releasing and whatnot. So yeah, when the moment strikes, we'll release those, and that's sort of what's going on with some new stuff on DNN. But if
Absolutely.
this is your first episode, welcome. My name is Anthony Ragucci. That's Chris Trio, and yeah, we like to talk about some housekeeping stuff and talk about what we're playing, doing, watching before we get into things. 2 quick ones.
Please.
I played Gears Reloaded.
How's it going?
With Casey, split
right.
screen.
Yeah.
Not my own. I don't own it. Well, I
You're
do
with
own
him
it.
and by split screen, you mean together in a room playing it together, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
I can't tell you how disappointed I am with that.
Interesting.
Not the game, but like you should have remastered 2 and 3, up-res Reloaded, and put all 3 of those out. No multiplayer. That's
bang,
what they
boom.
should have done. Not we're remastering a remake or a remake. It's like a remaster of a remaster. It's silly in my opinion, and I'm like I don't want to play Gears 1 again. I don't want to get seriously again. I'm not doing this. Like I have no desire to play Gears 1. I like don't mind playing co-op, but I told Casey I'm not putting it on my Xbox because I'm not subjecting myself to
Looking at the-
getting seriously again.
Yeah.
On Gears 1. I'm like, I already did that. It took me fucking forever. So I'm like, I'll come over and play it. And he's
Please
like,
remind
"Deal."
me, what is seriously again?
Oh, yeah. So in Gears of War, they have seriously achievements, and they get harder with every game, but they started out, it was just like get 10,000 kills in multiplayer.
Right.
That's really difficult,
Yeah.
especially in the first one. And I think the second one, it was up to 100,000, and then Gears 3, it's like get a certain amount of kills on top of some other stuff. And with 4, it's the same thing. With 5, it's the same thing. I've been working at seriously 5.0 on Gears 5 since like February. I've been like chipping at it, like Michelangelo carving the David, like very slowly
mastering his masterpiece. Right. Yeah.
And it's like very much like I may put not even 4 hours a week into it, like that little.
Well,
like
I mean,
I'll go on, do a daily, pop off.
It's definitely more of a marathon than a sprint situation.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like especially with something like that.
I could sprint it, but like I got time, I want to finish before E-Day.
Right.
That's sort of the goal with that. And another game that played like that, went to a friend's house and played Mario Party Jamboree at your house.
Oh, right. Yes.
I really liked it, man. I like it was funny. I knew that game came out and I was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, this isn't the old Mario Party. And like, oh, it's Jamboree. And I'm like, oh, right. That came out that was like one of the last Switch 1 games.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a great time. Spike is my new favorite Nintendo character.
I love it.
I really like him. And yeah, I was having a good time. And for the first time, I felt like a Mario Party game was a perfect.
Like a party game.
No, there was a perfect length.
Oh,
because
okay.
we were saying, because we were, I think we were picking, I forget what the options
at the beginning.
were.
It's 10 or 15.
Yeah. And I'm like 10. And 10 was perfect.
I'm glad we did 10.
Because I was like, right when we got to the end, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm done with this. But we got one round left. So
it's like you're there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. How many times have you played it now?
A fair bit. I mean,
Okay.
we've played every match. Really, the Switch, and I've said this before on here, is my party machine. Like, I love having people over and we play Mario Kart or Mario Party, all that stuff.
It is funny watching you with your Switch, and I know that. Like, I know you're not playing. It's like people are over.
Let's hang out and play.
play the
And,
Switch.
Tamira's and I, we play. What's it called? Overcooked all the time, pretty often still. Every once in a while, we'll check in with that. Played Up, we still mess around on. So that's a fun game or a fun console for us to have to play stuff together. But yeah, dude, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it stuck in your mind that much. For sure.
Yeah. I definitely want to play it again for sure.
Absolutely.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Trio, sometimes in a man's life, duty calls, and he has to return to the farm. I'm back in Stardew.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting the 1.6 achievements, which involve one of the biggest feats in the game, which is like essentially the achievement is called like Summit the Mountain, and is just do everything.
Okay.
And there, Kui on the Ginger Island.
Yep.
He has a little computer that tells you like what you need to do for that. You have to buy all the totems at your farm.
Right.
There's a lot of like very expensive things you have to do.
100%ing, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's definitely 100%ing the game. But on top of that, it's like, okay, they added an achievement for going to the movies, for getting first place at the festival fair thing, making sure the governor loves the stew. A few very easy additions. They added some like books and like this raccoon thing,
Right.
where you can like help this raccoon and his family
I think
grow.
I have seen that.
This is the 1.6 update. That is
okay.
specifically.
So is that the
raccoons
one
and
that
books.
was taking a while to come to console?
Yes.
Okay, and it is finally out. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and I don't know if you heard, Concerned Ape is doing another update for Stardew.
He is. I thought.
I can't believe that. I'm like, dude. I'm like, you have a new game, like. Haunted Chocolatier has been like a thing for a little bit. Like, you think you'd like want to focus up. Like, I get it, but like, I think your priorities are a little like mismanaged here. I think you got everybody with Stardew. I think everyone like,
I can't disagree with you. Am I going to argue with a guy that wants to give me more free content?
This is about business management.
No, definitely. And you know what's so he was actually on like Bobby Lee's podcast.
I watched it.
And I
Yeah.
watched a little bit of it, and hearing him
Yeah.
talk about it was really interesting. And I love the idea that he still owns this completely, and he made so much money off it.
I
at
need
this
to
point.
look up his net worth. I'm gonna do that right
It's
now.
mad. It's insane, but he's made so much money off it at this point that he never feels the need to sell it. He kind of just updates it as he pleases. I don't. Gooch's disgusted face right now is going to tell me a lot. How much?
Oh my god, 34 million.
And he made that all by himself, right? Yeah, he completely made that.
Dude, he has like no overhead.
No, there's none. It's him alone. And I mean,
actually,
has he gotten help at this point, or is it actually completely him still?
No, there are some other people.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a very specific and specialized situation. But truthfully, man, with that kind of that's fuck you money. That's genuine fuck you money.
Fuck you money.
And you know what? Do what you want.
I guess
but
this
I am
is-
excited for Haunted Chocolatier.
I guess this is like a Hollow Knight Silk Song situation where he's just gonna take his sweet fucking time.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
he doesn't give a fuck. And yeah, I guess he's going to go back to Stardew
Right.
and do a little update there. Hopefully he doesn't add more achievements. But honestly, it's been fun to jump back in. I was sort of dreading it because I felt like really done with it. And then I
Right.
went back and I'm like, okay, like I'm not as bothered as I thought. Stardew's a great game. I think that just speaks to it
Absolutely.
immensely.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm excited to get back into it now that you've mentioned it. I didn't realize that an update came out, and I would love to like.
Yeah,
plug
I mean,
back in.
it's not breaking the fucking mold here, but
Of course
it
not.
does add
You
a
get some
little
cool
bit.
stuff, and
Yeah.
I would like to, finish off some of the things. I never found all the golden walnuts, and there's like a few things that I still need to do in there for sure. Interesting.
Hitman, still trucking away at that. I just finished Sapienza last night. Got
Nice.
that to Mastery 20. I actually did my first like sniper.
Oh yeah, the sniper
challenge
challenge
thing?
thing. Yeah.
Very interesting game mode. I'm not sure how I feel about it as like a game mode because it's so arcadey, and it's so like you're like so the achievements for some of them is like do all the challenges, which are pretty difficult.
Imagine.
Like
Excuse me.
like either you're gonna get caught because you don't really know what you're doing, or you just don't know where things are, or know how to make things happen. I did the one, it was like in this like cargo port when you were killing some Asian targets. Excuse me.
Okay. What?
Because it just sounds kind of right. Killing some Asians, you know.
Well, were they just
they were like
they were just people working at the
no, they were like mobsters, but they were
Oh,
Asian,
I
so that makes the map stand out if you recall it.
I see. Got it.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I've just been chipping away at some of the maps. It's interesting to see like Hitman's 1 maps are not as refined as Hitman 3, and it more so I mean like the challenges, they get easier as they go. Hitman 1, they're a lot more difficult to get to 20. Hitman 3, much easier.
Well, and I think that's almost the product of, and I think I mentioned this before, even when we were talking about it on the podcast, the Agent 47 2007 podcast, if you want to go check it out.
Yeah, our last monthly, episode 117.
Wow, I just totally lost the train of thought.
You were talking about, I was talking about difficulty from 1 to 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the first game, they released that episodically. I think they were able to spend much more time on each map individually and add, many more challenges. Whereas it's funny, I need to get back to 3. I do feel like it's kind of toned down from memory, and there's like less missions and less challenges
Like they
and
add
such.
the shortcuts, which I found interesting, and there's challenges to get them all. Yeah, it just seems like they just learned a lot
Right,
when they
absolutely.
got to Hitman 3.
Yeah.
They kind of were like, all right, we can make these maps a little bit more refined, because some of those challenges of 1, I feel like I'm like, all right, like I need to like look this up. I don't even know how to fucking do this. Like, how do I get Francesca to what's her face in front of the cannon? Like,
right. How do I get them both in position to snipe them both at the same time? That
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
No, they
would-
get tough.
yeah, like the discoverability is kind of cool, and I do that when I'm doing like the story missions and seeing what happened. But it gets to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm just wasting my time if I'm trying to actually like
Just get the challenge done.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. I'm gonna look it up and see how it happens. And I go, oh, okay, like that's cool. Like, oh, okay, or I missed that. I didn't know you could do that. But
Right.
yeah, some of them are like, there's endless ways to kill these people, and it's like, Jesus Christ. There's like 31 assassination challenges in Sapienza.
That's what I'm saying.
And there's not that many in any other map.
But again, that's what I mean. I think they spent so much more time on each map, and like I'd have to play 3 again to get to there and feel how like more refined, quote unquote, it feels. It just feels like there's just more, like to me, in 1, and more isn't
Yeah.
always better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like like you said. I don't know if you said this exactly. It's a less refined more.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
just more for the sake of more.
Right.
It's not a feels good more, but it is more.
Definitely. Yeah.
Whether, take it or leave it. And just this weekend, Borderlands 4 came out. Been playing that with a buddy from high school, Kyle Cagle. We've been running through that. We put about 6 hours into it on Friday.
Love it.
And it feels so much different.
Then 3.
Yeah, I felt like I jumped in. I'm like, okay, they did a lot of work to try to differentiate this. I don't feel like I'm on Pandora anymore. The tone's different. It's not a bunch of poop jokes. It's not a bunch of loser kind of like streamer jokes like 3 was. 3's humor was just like they missed the mark.
Yeah.
It like again, it was just poop jokes. Like and it like the
Toilet humor.
Yeah, the quests feel a bit, while goofy, they feel a bit tonally different. Like more like 1 and a cross between like 1 and 2. I'd say like a 1.5 kind of thing in like the tone of the game. But playing as the Forge Knight, I don't know what are you rolling? I know
I'm
you're playing
Raja.
as well.
Rava.
The Exo Knight.
Yes,
Or
yeah,
the
yeah.
Exo Soldier. Yeah, I was either between him and the Forge Knight, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go this. I like the axes and stuff.
Yeah, I think I was between is it Rava or Raja? I can't remember. Well, either way,
I
the
think
Tech
it's
Knight
Raja.
and the Witch.
Rafa?
I think
Rafa.
it might be Rafa.
Rafa.
I was actually playing before I came over here today. I put in like an hour and a half. I gotta say the reviews convinced me. On top of just the coverage that I was seeing after,
How's it running on Pro?
totally fine. Even you know what's funny, and I was
I'm not
gonna
having any issues either.
even with like Delta, I really have not been seeing any issues.
I've
of
seen
major.
some frame dips.
I guess I should say more like my own like experience in it, and maybe like at least to a point where I've like noticed it myself. And I feel like maybe they have to be pretty heavy for me to, my eye to notice. But
yeah,
no,
dude,
I
you're
mean
just not good
Borderlands.
enough. You can't see that 60 frame
Correct.
dip.
Yeah. But I mean,
just
I
not
will
elite.
say when I was watching the 007 one when they were driving,
Oh,
even
that
when
was-
I
that
did
was
notice
rough.
that. I did notice that.
That was
So,
rough.
but no, I haven't been noticing any technical issues. I mean, the game looks gorgeous. I think the art direction, is still great in these games. I do like that cell shaded
that
effect.
zone feels so like it pops. Like there's something about it that I'm like, this is so
It's like
much
the like
different.
tropical area. Kinda
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
like,
go
this
into.
is so much different from Borderlands 3. Like I just see it. Like I can't put my finger on it quite yet, or maybe not at all. But like when you're standing there and you're looking around, it's like, oh yeah, I can. I don't feel like I'm on Pandora anymore.
It's funny you mentioned that because you're right. Because when I think of Borderlands, I think of like canyon-esque, like desert landscapes
Yeah,
and stuff
the
like that.
skags
Barren,
and- yeah. There's the
almost
sound to it.
Mad
yeah.
Maxi-ish,
Yes.
almost, if you will.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think the gunplay feels
I
magnificent.
think my two biggest things is they need an FOV slider on console.
I've heard that, and I think they literally tweeted about
Yes,
it today.
they did.
Yeah.
And when playing co-op, it's very hard to notice when your guy gets down. It's not like a big enough flash on your screen. I'm like Kyle's like, oh, I'm down, or then I'm like, I'm down, and he doesn't know I'm down, and it's just like I gotta like literally tell him. Not that that's a problem, but it's just like the visual indicator for getting down needs to be much bigger. But otherwise, yeah, there's some cool changes, and I'm sure we're gonna review that down the road.
Definitely.
So looking forward to that.
You know what I didn't realize comes out like next week too? Fucking Dying Light. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, man? Can we just relax?
Too many games.
God,
Too many
and
games.
I might take even like Ghost is coming up. I wanted to play fucking Ghost of Tsushima before that again, and that didn't happen.
That's not gonna happen.
And it's not gonna happen. So like, yeah.
Let me
I
tell
don't
you, Tria, it's not gonna happen.
it's not. No, it's not. So I don't know. It's frustrating.
Going over the PlayStation side of the house, got the RE7 plat. I think I was like pretty much at the end.
Sweet.
So I think all I had to do was Not a Hero, the Chris one,
Right.
and no, I think Not a Hero and End of Zoe. Very interesting. I didn't love those DLCs. It's like more, but like it's like not like more I needed. You
Right.
know?
Sure.
It was fine. It was fine. But
Fair enough,
wrap that up. And most recently, as of actually, we're about 12 hours. Actually, like on the dot. DS2, Death Stranding 2, Platinum, it's done. 169 hours. So, definitely in hindsight, I probably should have done more before I beat the game. And they're like, I think like playing Death Stranding 2 again, now that you've played it, like when I did with the first one, you have this hindsight where it's like, okay, like I kind of know how to do this now. And it's not so much you're just kind of discovering and going on this journey for the first time and figure everything out. I should have leveled up the adventurer a lot more, like while I was going through the game. One, because his side ops of getting him are kind of annoying, but like the climbing gloves,
Yeah.
like
Those
you want
dude,
those.
yeah, those
you
are
want
really
you want
helpful.
the twos,
Yeah.
while you're going through the rest of the game.
Even
yeah,
if you get something really good from Mr. Impossible, I wish I mentioned it before. The
the
PCC,
PCC level 3.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is that would be helpful for just building.
I don't
things.
understand how you don't end with him. Like
Right, you
he's-
almost have to.
Like
yeah.
it seems like he would be like he was my last thing. That last side op he gives you is pretty difficult.
the
Or side
impossible
order.
delivery or whatever. Yeah.
You can cheese it though.
And what and how?
So if I'm sure you're gonna do this. Not I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So do you know what you have to do?
I did it already.
Oh.
Yeah, I've done it. I did the roads were fucking so helpful.
So I just threw everything in the Magellan and traveled.
oh, and then you just got the Magellan thing
Rank
for
and
it.
it still gets you to level 5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I was like,
No, that's fair.
I played for like 7 or 8 hours yesterday.
I had to do it
all day.
I did it twice because the first time I got halfway through and I fucked up. And then
I died like very early
But I
on.
could not imagine doing that without the roads. Like,
Oh, yeah,
so
you
like I
need-
had
you
my
need to have the
I had
roads.
my entire network set up, and I just drove around, and yeah, it was enough.
Did
know.
you do it under 50?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I got a plus, and I had like my truck and everything. Yeah, I think I'm only missing the Adventurer and F6 I want to say. There's
Interesting.
two, so that's the only one I need to get to.
I apologized to you yesterday because you were talking about like you having to do a bunch of orders for the adventure and stuff like that. I actually I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to do that a lot, but I actually found out I didn't have to do that as much as I thought.
Mine's just more waiting for the orders to be. I just need to leave my PlayStation on so the orders
So I never ran into that issue because probably because I spaced them out.
That's absolutely. what
I
it is.
probably
Yeah.
ended up like. I don't know, like I would just like, oh, here's an adventure order, and I do one, and then I'd go around the fucking world,
Yeah.
and then like come back, and then like I would do like, oh, there's another adventure order, I'll make sure I'll go past him, but I wasn't just like mass doing adventurer stuff.
See, that's like by the end I had like those 3 left, so I was using the order thing, like the order tracker, to look at.
Love
Like
that.
very helpful.
Really great.
So I was
tool.
like, okay, I have these 3 different ones that I'm just gonna go pick them all up at once and bring them back to the adventurer. So like now that I just have these last 2 that I've
talking
just
about the
like
same guy.
no, it's
the
true.
adventurer,
No, he's tough.
the
So
problem.
does he have? After you get him off the mountain, is there one
Yes.
more?
Yes.
So that's the one that I need to do. I think.
Yeah. So you'll get triggered for it. The adventure will say something to you,
Yeah.
and then I like went away, did another order, and then I got the SSS message that he went away again, and it's a boss.
I need
It's a
to.
BT
Okay,
boss.
cool. I need to hop back on again and do that. I mean, those are my last 2, and then I'm gonna be done with that. It's just I haven't really turned it on in like a week and a half.
I love like how you'll fight 2 BTs for the adventures thing. I love getting like we didn't talk about the summons in the review. There's so much we didn't talk about in the review.
Sure.
No,
I didn't use the summons that much aside from when the story made me.
because I didn't get them until endgame.
Oh well,
I only
them-
had one by the time I
Interesting,
finished the
yeah.
game, and then I'm like, dude, I knew I didn't have them, and I'm like, well, I've only encountered the fucking octopod like 17 times,
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, here's the wolvie guy, the lion guys,
Yeah.
and then the other shit, and yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
They're,
And
I mean, you
they're
get
really
one for the
helpful.
fisherman one, right? That's helpful. Like that's,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I didn't use them that as much as I would have liked to, for sure.
Yeah, once every BT battle, I was bringing them out once I got them.
No, it's a good idea, and I'm gonna definitely do that on these last ones.
But yeah, man, it is done. Death Stranding 2 is in the books.
That's great, man.
We talked about Delta earlier. Been playing that. Won't say too much about
Absolutely.
that. We'll be reviewing that, and it's going to be interesting because I think it'll be our first time we're like really reviewing a remaster remake in like
Just
I
a
think-
normal
I think we're
format.
going to be talking about it from the perspective of that.
Just
instead
it's
of
just a
like,
review. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like we're not going to be talking about the game. I mean, we probably will, but we already like did that. So it's going to be interesting.
Sure, no, I think it's gonna be a bit
I'm
about-
looking
yeah.
forward to being like, all right, we like recently played MGS3. Let's talk about Delta and what we like, what we don't like. Like,
Definitely.
it's going to be cool. Last game, Lost Soul Aside. You know what this is?
I keep hearing the name. I do not know what it is.
This is a game that was being made by a single developer until Sony came along and picked them up as a part of their China Hero project. And I can't decide if I like this game, hate this game, or whatever. It's very middling. It's got some good components to it. I think that it's like an action combat game,
gonna
kind
say,
of
yeah.
inspired by like Final Fantasy 2 and 15. I noticed seem to be like the inspiration for it, like Devil May Cry in terms of combat and stuff like that. And I like the combat. I think the gameplay is good,
Right.
but the story is like, and the performance and the voice acting and the dialogue is really like subpar. Like I don't care about the story at all. And the gameplay, I don't have a problem with the gameplay. What I have a problem with is the sound effects suck. So I feel like I'm like attacking and I'm like very uninterested in
You're
like,
not getting that like satisfying sound that you. Yeah.
And then I'm playing for an hour and I'm like, I don't think I like this game. And then I play for like another hour or two and I'm like, oh no, I kind of like this. And then it goes back down and I'm like, I don't really feel like playing this game. But I'm going to, Trio,
Because you bought it and you're into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the platinum.
That's sad, man. How long has it been in development for? Is it like one of those other
like since 2015.
almost along the lines of like a Silk Song type deal? But yeah.
It feels like it needed some more time in the oven to really like polish up. It like the game is there. It's but like it just feels like Yeah, this was made by a small team who clearly this is their first time doing it, and it just feels like they don't have the expertise to really polish it up in terms of sound effects and in terms of the writing of the story. It sounds like a lot of shit came together like kind of last minute with the story and with the sound effects, and I guess like they got the gameplay down and that sort of shit, but like everything else seems to be like seems to be left on the cutting room floor. But they patched it like 7 times since the games came out.
Jesus.
So they're doing work to it.
Right.
So I guess I can give them that. A game like Stalker 2, I think they've patched like 3 times since that game was released, and like the A1 life system didn't work. Like one of the game's biggest marketing things. Yeah. I'm looking forward to going back to that eventually, but this I haven't talked about in a while because I haven't been playing it, but that game I haven't beaten.
Yeah.
It is very rare that I let a game go on this long without beating it. The last time I did it was Watch Dogs 2. I think it took me like 8 months to finish it because I just stopped playing it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I got to go back to it. And I'm like, I'll go back to Stalker 2 eventually and beat it and get all the achievements. But there's
no fire under you. Yeah.
No desire. Like at this point, like just let's get to the Cyberpunk 2.0 level and I'll play it at its best kind of thing.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I would love to jump into Stalker eventually, but yeah, just after all the issues I hear you talk about and I just hear in general, I do think waiting is probably the way to go.
2 more things. Peacemaker Season 2. It's been great. We're going to talk about that in a few weeks here. Intro's great. Trio needs to give the intro a bit more time in the can.
I think it's fine.
You just got to... Don't skip it.
Next fine. Episode. I won't skip it. I won't skip next episode. I'll do that for you, Gooch.
You know what else you're going to do for me?
What?
You got to do this for me. I brought this up to you.
Oh my God. If this is about the fucking show on HBO, I swear to God.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Why don't you want to watch? It's good.
Can I be honest with you? I just don't really, I don't find talking about like dramatic things like that very interesting on here in like a review setting. That's also part of it. And I just don't think I can speak to it very well enough to genuinely. I don't know. It's just like, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't, it's, like, I can tell you in a quick bit about, like, why I liked True Detective, but, like, if you wanted to, like, sit here and analyze it and talk about it for an hour, I don't know if I'd have it in me.
I think you can do it.
I mean, I think I might be able to do it.
But here's what I'm going to give it to you.
What is the show called?
Task.
So,
made by the guy who did Mayor of Easttown, Brad Inglesby.
Not to be confused with the Mayor of Kingstown.
Yes, that's Jeremy Renner, right?
Correct.
Post accident,
I think so.
Yeah. So Task is basically filmed in Delaware County, based in Delaware County, and I guess is in the same universe as Mayor of Easttown.
I did hear that. Yeah,
it's like I makes sense. Like it's just a disconnected story from what's going on here. So
and just to say, he's not saying mayor. He's saying mayor.
That's her name, Mayor of Easttown. Yeah, so in Task, Mark Ruffalo plays an FBI agent, and essentially, to give you the skinny of it, there is something going on in the perspective of another character. He's not in a gang, but like they are basically like scoping houses and robbing a gang. And these are drug dealers, bad people. And I wouldn't necessarily say this guy's a good person, but he's robbing the gangs. And the cops start noticing like there's been home invasions, like people are getting killed. Like it seems like shit's getting sloppy. And Mark Ruffalo is tasked with getting together a group of law enforcement officers from the area, and then they lay them out like, oh, this one's from like Chester County and Lancaster County. I'm like, this is like so cool.
This is the Delco Avengers.
It's so
from Lancaster County, Chester County.
Yeah, like and yeah, so he's getting together a group to figure this out. There's only 1 episode in. Yeah, and I'm like, I told Trio, I'm like, we have to watch this because I feel like I watched Mayor of Easttown like a year after it finished. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, this is like so relevant to our namesake as Delco Nerd Network. It's filmed in our area. It's based in our area. It's like Mark Ruffalo's house in the show is filmed down the street.
From here?
Yes.
Really?
You know where the Starbucks is in Broomall, where that shopping center was burned down?
Yeah.
My buddy, shout out to Anthony Angelucci, his parents live on Lindbergh Avenue. His house is also on that street. And you know why I noticed? Because there was a shot in the backyard. I'm like, holy shit, this looks like Anthony Angelucci's parents' backyard. And I messaged him and I sent him a screenshot. I'm like, tell me this doesn't look like your parents' backyard. He's like, it's not, but it's down the street from it. And I'm like, there you go. I'm like, and I remember driving past that area, like that part of Broomall, and it was like they were filming because
Right.
they were like security trucks and shit. I probably
So is he from around here? The guy who
Brad Inglesby?
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
And I'm just like, we have to review this. So like I did
We'll
for
see.
Avatar, I wasn't gonna watch Avatar, but Trio was like, Gooch, I think we should review it. And as a good podcast co-host, I said yes.
Wow.
So this,
Wow.
so
This is what it's come to.
so this is what I'm doing for
You're
you.
pulling out Avatar.
I want you to watch this show because it's probably only going to be one season. I don't think
no, I think it absolutely is.
it's going to
I
be
mean,
like
it's gonna
7 or
be
8
like
episodes. It's probably going to be a good watch, and you're going to be like, "Holy shit, this is like Delco."
But like,
They go to Rita's in the first episodes. They talk about KYW
is Rita's Delco
News Radio.
specific? I don't know.
It's an East Coast thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll watch the first episode, Gooch, and if it locks me in,
It's
we'll
gonna
keep
lock you
going.
in.
But I don't know, man.
You're really doing this to me.
I just don't. Well, I don't remember trying to twist your arm this hard about watching Avatar. I feel like
think you did.
I think I mentioned one time. Like,
I think I was a bit
probably
reluctant. I think I was a bit like.
I feel like I was gonna just review it anyways. I don't feel like I remember even. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'll watch the first episode, Gooch. We'll see where things go.
What was our bet that we made like a podcast or two ago?
That Superman would show up by the end of Peacemaker, I think. Or
Yes,
I think it was that
I was
Superman
like, dude,
would show
I'm
up.
like, what the fuck was it?
We'll have to go back and watch the
It was a
episode.
Wawa
I'm
bet.
I think it was just a meal of some kind. But either way,
Yeah.
I think it was that Superman was showing up by the end of Peacemaker.
Okay.
For sure.
We don't need to make a bet with Task, but I just we're at odds.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what else we're at odds about? Not our topic yet because you have to go.
I like it. Oh, damn it. I closed my notes. 1 second. Notepad.
Yeah, think about it, Trio.
Okay. So, yeah, Peacemaker, we mentioned. It's been great so far. I'm really curious to see where the whole other dimension thing leads. I think there's some pretty obvious threads that feel a little too obvious. So I don't know. Who knows? But we'll see.
Yeah. With
Like just what's
The
going on
alternate
over
dimension.
there and why it's so cool,
Yeah,
quote
why
unquote, or
it's so
whatever.
great.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really curious to see where that ends up. John Cena is always fantastic, and he continues to be fantastic, even in his interviews. I think he is truly like a genuine talent in the way he interacts with people and how funny he can be. So I can't wait to see more of that. Alien Earth we spoke about. I'm still going on with that. It continues to be
two
truly
more episodes,
amazing.
2 more weeks, and then we'll review.
I
Can't wait.
can't get over that it's actually television sometimes, genuinely, with just how real everything looks, how great the sets are.
Yeah,
The acting, I don't know.
It feels like something different, and that's what I like. I think it would actually kind of suck if it was just on the ship the whole time.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I don't think there's enough for 8 hours of that.
I like that it's exploring human even society at this point.
Earth.
And Earth, and I think Sigourney Weaver had some really like nice comments about it too.
Dude,
at
the
point,
fact that I saw like I guess Clyde, she was interviewing with Collider. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
why, but they were talking about Alien Earth, and I'm like, if I was on that show, I would feel so honored that Sigourney
Absolutely.
Weaver was like, no, I'm just watching it like
As a fan.
week to week. I'm like, that's sick because like I don't think Alien would be a thing without Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, I mean, dude,
you know?
absolutely. I mean,
That-
they've tried to do it a few times for sure, and to varying success. But
Yeah,
I agree with you.
It wouldn't have been a success if it weren't for her. I mean,
especially at the gate. Yeah.
I don't know if she. Maybe that's fair to say. She kind of became a little bit of a sex icon.
Definitely.
From that. I mean, she's got a lot of hot, naked, nudie shots in Alien.
That would be. You know what, Gooch? Though that's a pretty woke movie, if you ask me.
The Bush.
Yeah. Well, no. What?
You know about the Bush, right?
I didn't know about the Bush.
They added the Bush in 2.
I was unaware.
She comes out and she's got some Bush.
Too strong of a female lead for me, Gooch. No.
And they edited it out, and I think
I didn't
whatever
know that.
version is streaming now. But anyway,
No, but those are.
can't believe you didn't know that.
We need to. I think that will be a fun rewind review.
I've
for
never
sure.
seen like Resurrections.
I've seen Alien and Aliens when I was really young. I've never seen the others.
So do we do a?
I think
so
it
do
would
we
be
wrap it into an Aliens and Predator and then do AVP?
No, I think if in an optimal world, I'd like to do just the old Alien movies by themselves, maybe some AVP ones, and then the Prometheus stuff. But I digress. Great stuff. Watch Alien Earth if you have not. Something I started to rewatch, actually like a couple nights ago. My girlfriend has never seen this, Gooch. And I don't think you've ever seen it. Dexter?
No.
You've never watched Dexter, right?
I have no plans on it. I know some
You should
fries,
change-
motherfucker guy.
You should absolutely change that because rewatching it right now, and this is probably the third time I've seen it.
That meme of him is coming.
It's all I think it's kind of come back because of like the Resurrection show that's come out.
Is he in that?
No, I don't. I mean, he might be in flashbacks and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean, I don't want to spoil where he ends up in the show.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what
Dexter
happens
has
to him.
some sauce that just does not exist in modern day television in a lot of ways.
I would imagine it's kind of like the Sopranos sauce.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just like there would never be a show like
the
this
way
again.
things are shot, the way things are lit, the like Showtime, yeah. There's a lot of like I forget what they're called, catty corner shots or whatever. Like just the camera work is so interesting. Dexter himself is so funny in a lot of ways. It's a truly fantastic show that I think sadly does kind of dive near the end. I don't think that negates how fantastic, especially the first 2 seasons are. I genuinely think they are in my top 3 when it comes to
Trio. Dexter's a murder show, and we reviewed that thing. So get the fuck out of here with your task stuff.
Dexter isn't
was it Resurrections that like epilogue season they did?
So Dexter reviewed? New Blood. Yeah, that was the epilogue season, and then they've continued after that with Resurrection.
We reviewed that.
That's not the same as like a task, though. It's not. Anyways, Dexter is...
I keep interrupting you.
No, you're fine. It's truly fantastic television. The first season is one of my favorite seasons of television ever, period. It might even be my number 1. I think you have to watch it. It's so good. Fucking Michael C. Hall was one of those, I think actors that I would have definitely loved to see more of. I mean, you've seen Gamer, right? With Gerard Butler.
It's been a number of
years.
It's
been a long time, but like I keep seeing clips of him from even that. Like he's psychotic. He's so great in it because he plays the tech billionaire that runs the video games in that.
Oh my god!
Truly, he's a great talent, and I think he would have been a great like Eobard Thawne or something even like that. But I digress. That's it really on the movies and TV side. As far as games go, like you mentioned, Delta, been continuing through that. One thing I do just want to say, it is, especially even after playing the updated version on the remaster of MGS3, it really is just Metal Gear Solid 3, but it looks better for the most part. At least, as far as someone who's only played it once, and that's not a bad thing. But it's been a real kind of joy to go through. And the stealth elements have been a fantastic.
I'm really interested to bring up this point, but like it's interesting they didn't MGS5-ify it.
You're right. No, and just make it even
because how many times have I tried to fucking roll on the ground when I'm prone? Like you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
How Snake does in that? Yeah. I'm like, they could have really just been like, we're gonna use Fox Engine, and we're gonna just make this MGS5 and MGS3, and they didn't. No, they didn't.
It's even more 1-to-1, I think, even than like Oblivion, almost weirdly to a degree. Like as far as just how it plays.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah.
And the updated control scheme that was already in. I think the
it doesn't feel like that revolutionary.
No,
it still feels like MGS3. It's not MGS5.
I asked my girlfriend when she thought the game came out when I was playing it, and she was like, I don't know, like 2008. Like when and again, my girlfriend's
MGS3?
not a gamer. Delta. Like as I'm playing it, I was like, how old does this game look? She's like, I don't know, like 2009.
Well, she's looking at the upgraded graphics.
No, I know, but even still, no, I'm saying like that's still. I feel like it's funny that she can recognize like how it plays is still like an older even style.
Yeah,
that was like, and it definitely does. I mean, when did it come out again? 2004. I want to say, right?
2004. Yeah.
But it's been great. It's been a lot of fun to play through. I just think it's another interesting case of the remakester, as we've been talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm like, it's not a remake, but it kind of is.
I mean, it like they remade it in Unreal 5.
But it's the same game, so it's a remaster.
It's weird. It's a weird one.
We have to have a conversation about that terminology because I don't think everyone's quite on the same frequency, and it gets confusing.
It needs to be ironed out for sure.
Yeah.
After that, Gooch, we have probably at the top of my list for this week. Came out last week. Chronos, The New Dawn. I have been.
How's Bloob doing?
Bloob's been great, man. I gotta say, they have really won me over so far with Chronos. It's been one of the most interesting games I've played in a while. Just when it's come to its lore and how the inspirations it takes, the different aesthetics it uses. I really have been not able to put down the controller, and that hasn't happened in a while, especially with a new game. I really do think it's a fantastic and interesting horror title that I can't recommend enough. I think the mechanic of like not letting the enemies merge is very interesting. It makes you think a lot more tactically than I would have expected. There are, barrels set around the map that you can bring in with your temporal like occurrence power, which is like your RB. It's like this kind of glowing orb that you have to fire at. It's cool, man. I got to give Blooper a lot of credit. I'm super intrigued as to where it's going to end up. I was mentioning last night in the Discord, I love all the terminology. You have your phylactery that keeps your essence. You have your temporal shell, which is like a Geiger-esque dive suit that is, it's almost like phallic in a lot of ways. It's that it's It's that H.R. Geiger biomechanical inspiration. You arrive in your ship, which is called a sarcophagus. It's just cool. I really do like it, and I'm very curious to see how they explain, what has happened and this seeming apocalypse that has occurred.
I think I would have gotten it if there wasn't too many games.
I get it, man. I get it.
I'm like very bothered by it actually, because I'm like, it's not that I can't afford it. I mean, I do have to watch my finances
Absolutely,
as somebody who's unemployed. But then again, it's like I wish I jumped into fucking the indie DLC. I got no time for that.
Same here.
Got no time for any of this shit.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, we got to pick and choose. And then like Battlefield 6 is coming out next month. You got Dying Light.
Yeah.
I know Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered is in December. Like,
Ghost is at the beginning of next month, right? Or is it end of next month?
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like...
I know we talked about it earlier, but I'm like, I got to pre-order it. I'm so not looking forward to Yote.
It's not even
I
that
just don't...
Like, are you saying like you just don't... Like, it's not that you're not excited, but you're just... Or are you not? Are you just like, I could care less and I actually don't even want to play it?
I haven't looked at anything about it.
I really haven't either, for the most part.
It's not that I don't care about it. It's like I think it's just like the samurai slot.
And we've talked about this.
To that. I think it's just like I'm kind of like very exhausted by it.
I am too.
And I think I kind of went into Tsushima with a bit of a similar mindset, but I was kind of excited because it was the only thing coming out.
Right.
But with this, it's like I got so much to play. I'm gonna get Tsushima. I feel like as a PlayStation
Yote,
first party, Yote, as a first party IP for PlayStation, I feel like it's kind of tough for me to like miss that.
I mean, I'm sure the game's
going to be a big conversation game for
100%,
sure.
and I mean the game's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Does Sony suck?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I have.
Is Ghost of Yote too hard?
I have no doubt that it's going to be a truly fantastic game, and we've talked about this endlessly. I think we're absolutely in the minority when it comes to this setting and this style of game. People seem to love it and seem to eat it up. I am definitely kind of tired of it at this point, especially I did just play Shadows, which is actually verbatim the same game story wise. DLC. And it's free, which I actually do.
Nice.
All those DLCs are free, which I didn't realize. They released a bunch of Ezio
Probably
stuff
how
for
they
free.
Need to do it,
dude. Well, remember they announced that before the game came out that they were switching it over.
Forgot, but yeah,
absolutely. Ubisoft has its major problems, and they definitely deserve their criticism. But I'll give them credit where credit is due in the fact that they made this stuff free. And that actually does kind of incentivize me to maybe pick it up again. So,
right, because you don't have to go in.
I don't have to go and purchase it.
I think I do have to purchase the indie DLC.
Yes, I think you do. Yeah, and I definitely have to. I actually want to buy indie on PlayStation because I played it on Game Pass and get the DLC at the same time if possible.
Is it standalone? The DLC? Can you just boot into it?
I don't know. Actually, I'd be curious.
Good question.
I know it's set in Italy, right? It's set in the Vatican. You're like below the Vatican or something like that. Anywho, I'm excited to get into that. But yeah, dude, Chronos. I can't recommend enough. Like you play as, you don't even have a name. You're Traveler ND3517 or something, and you're finding all of these travelers around who have their own logs, and lots of environmental storytelling as far as audio logs go, and just seeing what's going on in the world. It's really good. I cannot recommend Chronos enough. Only $60 too, I believe, but I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Next up here, Gooch, we have Helldivers.
Yeah,
I've been diving back in with some friends since the update, came out on Xbox. My buddy Ian got it. He's on Xbox. I got Christian to get it. Super. So we have been diving. We've been taking on tyranny and spreading democracy across the known galaxy. It's been a lot of fun. Been fucking around with, I think, what is the most, significant update, which is the Illuminated. It's a new enemy type. They're like almost alien zombies type idea. They're these hordes of like technovirus zombies going at you. Then there's higher up levels that look like, I'm trying to think. They almost look, they remind me of Mass Effect almost to a degree type aliens, like with like shells husks. And the exactly
reapified aliens.
Definitely.
It's definitely not.
You get some urban maps in there too, which is interesting, like city maps. There's a vehicle which was added a long time ago, and you know what's interesting, Gooch? Game, you getting in left triggers to reverse, right triggers to go. This thing has a fucking transmission. You have to go from drive to neutral to reverse, and right trigger is always accelerate or reverse, whatever it is. So it's an interesting kind of layer to it. There's also fuel in it and stuff like that. Some of the new packs look interesting. I did not get the Halo one. It's just been a lot of fun to dive in with people. That game is really fantastic. For $40, I think it's worth your time, especially if you can get a full crowd on. But again, it's organizing 4 people to get on at once, so it's tough.
Yeah, it seems like it's having a bit of a second resurgence here with the Xbox release, so that's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to give this credit enough. Could we talk about it with the other way around when an Xbox game is the PlayStation, but this is a PlayStation game on Xbox?
Yeah, no, and listen, man, I'm so surprised they did it because they really had no other incentive other than just, to make money. And I'm surprised that they did bring it over to Xbox. It did really surprise me.
What was Colin and the gang on Sacred Symbols talking about when they were talking about the release of a game? And it's like, if they release a game like that, it's some multiplayer game, Fair Games maybe.
I think that's
or something.
That might be
just
canceled
like,
now.
When you release a game like a multiplayer game, you need to release it everywhere the first time. I kind of get like Death Stranding 2 will probably eventually will come to PC and then probably will come to Xbox just like the first one did. But I think they need to like realize like the multiplayer games need to be everywhere all at once. I tried to make a reference to that movie.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. But that's what it needs to do
I agree.
like you need the cross-play player base. Everyone's getting in. Like Borderlands is cross-play, which is great.
It gets people back. I actually think releasing it like this after the fact isn't the worst idea in the way if it gives you a second pop, like
Right,
we're
it's
seeing
that
right
second
now.
life, yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting, kind of conundrum, but I totally agree with you on the multiplayer aspect. Like if you have a game like this, a significantly online game or an all online game that is multiplayer focused, you want the widest net you can cast. So
Yeah.
and then to finish off here, Gooch, just a little bit of Kingdom Come Deliverance. The Smithy update came out.
How is it?
It's really fun.
Is there any combat?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A tiny bit.
I was
So
kind
there's
of like,
stuff-
I kind of wish it's like
It's 90%
straight.
in the city.
Yeah.
There's
Gutenberg?
like one thing, Gutenberg, you come across this smithy that your father used to work at when he was younger.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's all broken down, and you through a series of events, you are able to invest in it and take it over, and
So-
then you join the Smith's Guild and all that stuff.
So it's kind of like a Privoslavitz kind of thing.
It is absolutely feels like
but
that.
like inspired but a little different. I thought that was a cool addition just because I think it was really hard to make money in that game, so
Definitely.
they kind of injected a way to sink groschen into and for you to get more money.
Absolutely. And it's funny because there's two sides to it. It feels almost like a bit of an endgame DLC in the way of like you need a good bit of cash. I don't think nearly as much as Privoslavitz. I will say that.
Yeah, you need
But,
a lot of money for that.
I had like 16,000 groschen and I'm down to like 8 after like kind of fully opening up and like, getting some stuff. I still don't have everything. There's like a prestige system.
I got a shit ton of money in that game too.
Yeah, so you'll be good. The customization options are really cool. There are some buffs that certain items in your house gives you. So if you buy a certain bed, it'll buff a certain
it's like
stat.
a home too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can, customize it any way you want as far as colors go, but you have this prestige system that you have to level up within it, and doing certain guild activities level you up. And the higher you level up, the more options you have to customize your your smithy. And I got to say, it's really cool so far. I think it would be an interesting DLC to have midway in the game to, use those buffs a little bit more and to kind of utilize that stuff. But it's been really cool. And, jump back into Henry's shoes has been fun. Smithing was one of my favorite aspects of that game. I mentioned it on the review. I really think they did a fantastic job.
So one of our negatives I remember we brought up toward the end of that review, you, I, and Mr. Lockmort, was the lack of end game armor. Did they introduce better gear?
So I haven't gotten it yet, but they talk to you about like you can come
This
down to this
legendary
blacksmith
set.
and learn a new set to smith and stuff like that. It is funny. I didn't even realize as we were playing through that, and I mean it makes total sense. You don't obviously smith armor, and I would love to see them.
I don't know if I really.
You know
thought
what I
about
mean?
it.
Like, yeah, I didn't even think about that, and I would be curious to see them introduce that in
It's
some
like
way,
a totally
shape, or
different
form.
profession.
It absolutely is,
Yeah,
and I can
yeah.
imagine that's it would involve a lot more when it comes to mechanics wise. But I've really
Yeah.
been loving it so far. The writing's still top tier. You talk to the woman there, Magdalena, who knew your dad when he was an apprentice there. For the other guy,
Magdalena.
Skoda, I think, was the guy who owned the forge before him. It's really great. I fucking love this game. I really do have a sad feeling that this might get snubbed a little bit near the end of the year when it comes to the Game Awards. KCD, and I really think it's one of, if not the best game that's come out this year, or one of the most interesting.
It's definitely going to be in my games of the year for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, Death Stranding kind of being in this year kind of usurps everything out of my
Sure.
mind's eye. it's going to be interesting once we get to the Game Awards about what's going to get nominated and what ends up winning. It's going to be a tight fucking race. I need Kojima to win.
I will say, man, these last 2 years have been pretty straight fire when it comes to just game releases and just repeated releases.
Last year was a bit light, but the year before that, 2023 was.
I feel like I still even remember being relatively satisfied last year, where I was just like,
I'm always satisfied.
Yeah.
If anything, I need the games to stop. Give
me some time, right? Yeah. Anyways, Gooch, I think that about covers it, and that can lead us into what I would say is a new topic for sure. Actually, it's definitely a new topic. One I kind of came up with just in my observations of what I feel like I've been seeing in the online culture of movies, games, and everything these days. Where I think it kind of reflects where we are as a society to a degree. The title of this video is "Everything You Hate Is Actually Terrible," and we're not going to get as negative as that. That's more to draw you in. The idea here is that I feel like we have these releases within the past couple of years, whether it be a game, a movie, or even over time, that, they should come out to critical and commercial success, and they are, pretty well beloved in the moment. And then almost not even a year later, people are like, actually, that wasn't very good. And here's why, and you're actually kind of stupid for thinking that. And I feel like you've seen it a lot, especially since 2020. But I think it goes back even further than that. There are old games that I think are, renowned.
There's a prime example, and I'm sure you know what it is.
I'm curious when we get to it. I'm curious to see what you think. And I have a few that we'll talk to about as well. But I just think it's this weird phenomenon that I just can't quite grip with, and maybe there's probably some real criticism when it comes to it. When you can look back on these things, you have a year and you have time to think and analyze, and maybe there's some things that you pop up on. I get it. Opinions change. But it just feels like that's the thing to do now. It gets you the most clicks. It gets you the most attention. I don't know. And it makes my soul a little sad, or my spirit, for lack of a better term, that it just feels like we always turn back to the negative. And maybe that's, of course, a problem with a lot of things in general, negative things get the most clicks, get the most views. But I don't know, Gooch, I'm just curious to see what you think about this, if you feel like you've witnessed the same thing, or am I going insane?
Oh, absolutely. I think you're 100% on the money. I think that happens to pretty much every Marvel movie review for me. I think I come down on every Marvel movie we review after we review it. Fantastic Four is a good example of that. There's plenty of games where I feel like I'm like, yeah, I like that, and then I look back and I'm like, but did I? I really question it, and I feel like that discourse is happening online all the time, not just with Marvel movies, with games, and I'm trying to think of an example that is in recent memory.
And I guess one for me, big one, and I see people talk about it.
I gotta look at a list of games, and then
and this is a movie, was Spider-Man Far From Home. I remember after that came out, as that came out, everyone I feel like was loving it and was all over it and was giving it its praises and whatnot. And even Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then I felt like not even 6 months later, people were just going actually it sucked and it was blah 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 and this, that, and the other.
And it got bad.
And hey, there's very much probably some good points and fair points in there. But it just feels like this idea where it's now it's time. Now it's time. We got to go back.
You brought up Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is a perfect example of that. I think we reviewed that game. We liked it. We didn't really have much problems with it. Again, it's a sequel to a very good game. Kind of hard to upscale. But then I think as we got away from it, we kind of look back and go, you know what? Spider-Man 2 sucks.
See,
and I think there might be some truth into
definitely.
that. Definitely. And I don't think that's what we're debating.
I was going to say, there are definitely some that are valid, for sure.
Yeah.
And I will say, have you gone back and watched our Spider-Man 2 review?
No, should I?
It's very much more negative than I think you would remember. We start out it's more Spider-Man, and I still stand by this.
That?
I did just because I was curious.
Yeah,
and I wanted to see. I didn't rewatch the whole thing. I kind of skimmed through it, and we start out it's more Spider-Man. You can't really complain about that. It's fun. It's good. Right. But then we start going into the major issues. We start talking about Venom. We start talking about Mary Jane. We start talking about a lot of the stuff that I think we very much...
and then we get negative. It's not that we're actually negative about things, but we're just, in our discussion, things are just not positive.
And I would even say for me...
I'm asking
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And even for me, when it comes to that specific example, I feel like and maybe I am wrong, I feel like I've stayed pretty consistent with how I felt about that game. I think, it's a fair shot at Spider-Man 2. I think there are... some good moments in it, especially. But I do think there are a bunch of people who are underserved in that game, and I think a bunch of characters who were just heavily mischaracterized. But yeah, I again, some of it is absolutely going to be valid. Not all of it is bullshit, and I will absolutely 100% take that. It's just this thing of I don't know. When you need to find the thing to nitpick, or you almost feel like someone's diving deep. I remember I saw someone talking about BioShock Infinite.
Oh, the Infinite.
And that's the Infinite
I don't
hate is so
understand
funny
that.
to me. It's like, it's this pseudo-intellectual bullshit, and everyone thinks they're smart. Like, it's all these, like, very nebulous, like, you
Big
can't really
brain
pin
terms.
pin down terms, and it's like, it's not even smart. It pretends to be smart when it isn't, and it's like,
I feel like I woke up one day and all of a sudden BioShock Infinite was just like a piece of trash.
that's what I mean. Like,
I was like, wait. I was like, I love BioShock Infinite. I think it's way
you know
better
what my
than the
favorite
first
thing I'm
one
hearing
is.
now is BioShock 2 is actually pretty good. I don't think people
I
actually
think BioShock 2 has always been pretty
and that's
good.
the thing, and maybe that has been the sentiment normally, but I feel like that is not one that I hear often, and now I feel like he's wrapping back around.
So let me bring up that big point I was making earlier.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim is the quintessential top of the mountain king of this game was actually trash.
It's true.
And going back to Skyrim, it has aged fairly poorly. I'm
Almost
not gonna,
like it's a 15-year-old game.
but like, yeah, what a concept.
Yeah.
But it, like, you can't look at Skyrim and go, yeah, it was a bad game when it released. It was
And it did nothing.
not.
Yeah.
It is a cornerstone of gaming. It's probably one of the most important games to ever release. Period.
As far as RPGs go, absolutely.
I would in general
Yeah.
games. Skyrim is one of in the top 5 most important games of all time.
Influential.
It did so much for the industry, and yeah, we can look back on it with rose tinted glasses and better games and go, yeah, the combat wasn't as good, and we do say that stuff. We've said that stuff.
Absolutely.
Look at our Oblivion review. I'm super negative.
Even go
on
back
that.
to our Let's Talk About Skyrim stuff or whatever. That episode was,
Yeah. It's good to go back and watch some content because it like gives us a better idea of what we thought in the moment.
Absolutely.
Because again, it does change. I think if we reviewed Multiverse of Madness now, I'm sure it's going to be a lot different from when we first saw it.
For sure.
Because
Yeah.
I was very high on that movie when I first saw it. I really liked it. I don't necessarily know if I've come lower, but like Fantastic Four, like I said, I'm definitely lower. Like Shang-Chi, lower. I looked at my Letterboxd review and I was like 5 stars. I was like, like what? I gave Shang-Chi 5 stars. I think that actually released like 4 or 5 years ago, like today, by the way.
Oh, really?
I saw like a
What
post.
are the odds?
But yeah, like, why do you think this is?
I don't know.
What-
That's
is
honestly
it the internet?
I think that's partly it. I think everyone gets to share their opinions like we are now. And listen, I'm not going to berate anyone for sharing their
I
opinion.
hate that fucking thing that
But-
like when people go, oh, like nobody cares about your opinion, everyone has opinion, like fucking you're worthless. It's like that's such a like nothing burger. That's such an easy like let me sling some shit at you.
Yeah,
of
for
thing.
sure. And
like
again, I
don't know.
think it does come down to the idea of just negativity really drawing in the most attention, whether it literally be monetary attention, clicks, driving you in the algorithm, being able to actually say, this thing that's been just overwhelmingly loved so far, it's actually
trash.
shit. And then like a bunch of people are going to watch that just to even if they don't agree with you, just to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Or what is he getting into here? So I don't know. I do think it's the attention economy is a major factor.
And the opposite does kind of happen too.
Definitely.
When a game like kind of releases like pretty poorly, Cyberpunk I think is a good example of a game that released extremely poorly, and you look at it now and it's night and day.
You know what I'd actually even put in that category very recently? I feel, at least this is just my own feeling and viewing, I feel like I've seen the conversation turn a tiny bit on Outlaws, Star Wars. Like in the way
About
of
it
like where
being
people
better?
talk, like people are like, oh, this was actually much better than people gave it credit for.
All
at
the
time and so
DLC
on
is
stuff.
out now, so
Yeah.
It's been updated. It's a bit fuller of an experience. That
And
makes
even
sense.
that was one even I felt like at the time of release was not worthy of the type of criticism it was getting.
Yeah.
But no, it is interesting definitely
About a
to
year
talk about
ago,
the opposite. Yeah, for
ironically.
sure.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to talk about absolutely the opposite way. But And I do think there are a lot of YouTube channels and, personalities just built around the idea of just trashing the things that are overwhelmingly popular or just
It's not as good as you remember.
Absolutely. Like,
MGS5 sucks.
Avengers Infinity War? Bullshit? Question mark? Like,
clickbait?
Yeah, like
was it really that good?
Yeah, like again.
I mean that's the that is what feeds the algorithm.
So I'm saying
you're talking about like the numbers and like that draws people in.
It's the attention
and I'm
economy.
sure that this thumbnail, not because I'm bringing it up now, will be a tiny bit clickbaity.
Oh, 100%.
And like that's the point.
Well, and especially we're absolutely still a very small YouTube channel. We bring in the amount of views we bring in. It's nothing like we appreciate it. And we love every view we get, but we're not hitting like thousands of views every day. So we really need to take advantage of the SEO and really try to use that stuff. So I get it. It's part of the game.
For sure.
But yeah. I won't hate the player in that regard at all. I do think there is a different way to go about it, but hey, I don't know, man. If you keep monetarily getting incentivized to make this type of content, why are you going to stop? And
yeah.
I do think it comes back to also this phenomenon, and I've talked about it before. It is interesting to grow old enough, and I'm sure we'll see it many more times yet still, to grow up and see something that you saw that was very cool. Like top of the food chain when it comes to
Avengers. Like
that's
the
what
original.
I'm talking about. Like the MCU, like peak MCU, to then now it's cycled to like the bottom of the barrel where it's like kind of laughed at to a degree. And it's not the cool thing. It was so cool that it then became uncool.
I mean, I think that's like X-Men is sort of in that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think anyone really looks back super fondly on those movies. Unless like you're like reviewing Logan and you're like thinking about it.
Yeah,
like
definitely. And like talking about like what they did for, I guess, the genre in and of itself and things like that.
Right.
Like
there's a certain context in which it's negative and a certain context that makes it positive, but it's mostly negative.
And it's also, who's watching it. I mean, if you try to take Joe Schmo, who doesn't really like movies that much, and sit them down and watch the original Tron, they're going to fucking claw their eyes out. They're going to be so bored and almost hate every second of it. So like, and it's also comes down to you as a reviewer, what you like and what you're going to be interested in.
Tron Legacy is another great example of a movie. I've been thinking about things about the opposite, where like Tron Legacy came out and everyone hated it for some reason.
Did they hate it, or was it like kind of ignored, or did it just not do well?
No, I think people just didn't like it.
Interesting.
And then like all of a sudden, everyone loves Tron Legacy. It's like, you've come to my side. Thank you. MGS5 is a game that I think as time goes on, a lot of people hate and like, and it's actually like remained the same.
Right.
There is a lot of hate for Metal Gear Solid 5, and there's a lot of love. The love is getting bigger though, but that hate has always been there.
The appreciation's growing. Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look back at MGS5 and look at it a bit differently, and now that you're removed from like the hype of that game, and like what happened with Konami and Kojima, it like changes things a little bit. I was trying to think of a game that like sort of like both was kind of happening and still kind of happening. But Tron's a good example now that we're near Ares. Where like all of a sudden like I'm seeing clips of Uprising, the show from like Disney XD, which I'm like I guess I need to watch this, but I'm like I'm sure everyone like was like, oh fucking like Uprising.
I still remember when that
bro.
announced. Yeah. Well, I don't even think it like it's funny. I don't even think it's like
Tron
they were
Legacy
like that
sucked.
Like I really would love to go back and look
like
at the
shit.
I thought it just didn't do like did it review poorly at the time?
I don't think so,
because I thought the whole thing was that it just
why?
like no one just really saw it. I didn't think that there was like this. I didn't realize there was like this overwhelming or not overwhelming, but this like almost dislike.
I feel like every time Tron is brought up, it's either wow that movie sucked or wow that's like the greatest movie of all time.
Interesting.
Like it's like and speaking of that barometer and that difference. I feel like if you're in the middle, you're a target to then, this game was pretty good. In a year, it's shit.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, middling games almost can't exist anymore, where it's like a 7 or a 6. I love a good 7 or 6.
I agree.
I really do. I think a good 7 or 6 is like a nice
can
breath
be a top
of fresh
tier
air.
time. Yeah.
But in time, you look back and then it's like, well, nah, that wasn't that good.
It was fine.
And it was because it was one of those middling games that didn't get a bunch of press or wasn't like super well loved, and it didn't get all this attention. And this happens with the Game Awards too. And I think like you were kind of bringing it up when you were talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 earlier, that like we're going to get to the game of the year and then we're going to forget about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because it came out in like March or whatever, February.
Yeah.
of this year. You know, it's like out of our I gotta stop saying mind's
Out of
eye.
our mind's eye.
Yeah, but yeah, like is Silk Song, you know, that just came out and that had a big release, but I'm also feel like I'm not hearing, oh, it's the best fucking game ever, Trio.
That's what I keep hearing.
Oh, Expedition 33
Please
is the
play
greatest thing ever made.
I would love for everyone who fucking played Expedition 33 to try Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, because that's what it's so funny that people are willing to put up with like stuff like that type of combat. I guess it's much more streamlined, but then when you get into the more, I guess, nitty gritty of something like a KCD2, they're like, nah, I'm good. Be a gamer. One quick sidebar about Silk Song, I should say. I didn't feel like a gamer these past 2 weeks, Huge, when Silk Song came out, because I was like, what the fuck is this game? Why do I not know about it? Why have I never heard of it?
Really?
How do so many people... Yeah, I have genuinely...
I mean, Hollow Knight hasn't been a thing since like 2017 or like...
I mean, I guess it's just so funny because like the way it was catching fire just made me feel like, do I know video games? Because I've never heard of this video game
You've
ever.
never heard of Hollow Knight?
I might have heard it like like someone say it once, but not really.
It's kind of like a Dark Souls Castlevania game.
Interesting.
And you play as a little grub guy.
Little grubby man.
Yeah.
Little grubsy.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, anyways, I just thought that was weird. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't have those moments often.
That's truly one of the first ones in a while where I was like, what happened? Where did this come from? But, you know, to get back to the topic at hand, I just think it is really coming down to this world of negativity we are living in, sadly, whether it comes to, you know, anything these days. A lot of stuff sucks, and people like to harp on the stuff that sucks because it gets them that money. And when you get to say something sucks that is very beloved, you then get to post a YouTube video about it, and you get to get the clicks of people who are like, yeah, I agree, this great thing does suck. Then you also get the people who are like, what are you talking about? You're making points here that don't make any sense. I'll stop in for a minute just to be baffled. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to necessarily fix it, and I'm not necessarily here to try and figure it out. I really think
the problem begins and ends with the internet.
Yeah.
And the digital age and the, you know, all this junk bullshit everyone's consuming all the time, and how it affects the conversation. The conversation begins and ends with the discourse online. It's not about what you and your friends are saying like it was when we were 10. You know, it's about what everyone is saying online about it. Who cares what your buddy Jim is saying about it or my buddy Tim is saying about it? It just matters about what's going on online. That's the truth.
Well, it's funny because it's like, it's weird. I was talking about this the other night. Like the internet is this weird ephemeral thing that's like, it simultaneously doesn't matter at all, but also really matters a lot.
I mean,
and it's just a very confusing and fucked up world in the way of like, I don't know. Some things very much translate from the online discourse. Then some things don't. So like that's what always throws me off. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
how accurate it can be and how inaccurate it can
exactly.
be. Well, I just like, I mean, I really don't want to get into this necessarily, but the whole Charlie Kirk thing is I think there's a lot of different things going on with that, but it's also a byproduct of like the cesspool of the internet.
I agree.
I feel.
I think people you're
in a lot of different aspects.
You are much more willing to say wild and insane shit when you are typing it on a keyboard than if you were speaking to someone in person. And I fully and wholly believe that.
Right. It's a lot of like, I feel like a lot of people are saying shit about things like they actually really don't care about, or like trying to make it seem like they're thinking about things or believe a certain way. And like, again, just take this and apply it to games. I know that like the topics are a bit severe in terms of, I guess, mattering in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, well, like, do you actually care about Deus Ex, and are you just shitting on Human Revolution and Mankind Divided because you like,
you have the opportunity to, and you like to,
right? And you like, you're just trying to like, you know, stir the pot, or do you like genuinely care about Deus Ex as a franchise and where it's not going, and you want to see more? It's like, you probably wouldn't be spewing shit about Human Revolution or Mankind Divided if you thought about that.
And one of the major
if you believe that
100%. And I think also one of the major issues you run into on the internet, and this is obvious and has been said 1,000 times, is you don't know if the person that's yelling at you or talking to you is even real or is doing it out of a real belief in what they're saying. They could absolutely just be a troll, literally just wanting to get the worst fucking reaction out of you.
Anytime anyone opens their mouth about The Last of Us, it's hard to take any of that seriously.
Exactly.
Anymore.
Like
it's such a panned show and game now. Everyone just loves scooping the shit on top of The Last of Us Part 2, especially.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. And I think it's like this self-perpetuating machine in a way that I don't know how to stop necessarily beyond like, I don't know, a real change to the human spirit at the moment, for lack of a better term. It's a weird time for sure.
I truly think the answer to the problem is a deep-seated problem within our society.
Yeah. No, I mean,
not to get really deep on it, but like the crux of it is this problem with the internet age and the digital age and how information is just so, quote unquote, the truth to it. It's like there's no truth to any of this shit. Last of Us Part 2 isn't objectively the greatest game ever made or a piece of trash. It's it is. No, it's not objectively.
Right. Yeah. You're saying.
I'm saying it correctly.
Yep.
It's up to everyone's opinion and
it's in the eye of the beholder.
Your experience, your interpretation, and your expectations of everything all matter. Do you expect Last of Us 1 to be a piece of shit or good? That effect, and what's your experience with The Last of Us? And how are you interpreting everyone talking about it? It all kind of funnels in to each other, and those kind of three things. This is always sort of like a mantra that I've had within probably the last like 10 years or so. Like it all kind of funnels like at how you as a person view things.
And then that also funnels into the objective reality when you are trying to dissect something, which is because there are some objective realities and like objective truths when it comes to, I don't know, be it game making or filmmaking or any type of art where it's like, is this shot well? Does this run technically well? How good does the game play? Is it chopping at every 5 seconds? Is it technically sound? Like, of course you can talk about that. And I think you can like objectively say that The Last of Us 2 plays fantastically and mechanically is incredibly sound. But like, can I say objectively that the story is fantastic and is one of the best things ever written? No, I can say that personally I feel that way, but objectively, no. It's insane.
We as a people need to get rid of the sort of like the black and white of this. All this stuff is so nuanced that it requires conversation. So if you're going into something and you're like blanketing this statement out, like it's probably like you're probably like not going to end up with a good conversation because you're kind of like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm not.
We all fall victim to it.
Right. I'm not that I don't do that and I'm better than that, but like I think
in a perfect world.
I think if you talk through something, you're going to find out that like you're probably going to have a better conversation than being like, well, I think this and that's the way it is. And then the other guy says the exact opposite thing. Well, like, why don't you guys just like talk about the game or talk about the movie or talk about the show? And I feel like in the nuance of your conversation, in these things that are not true, they're truly not black and white, you'll find like an answer.
I agree.
You'll find a like a legitimate truth to it. Is Last of Us Part 1 or Part 2 the greatest game ever? I think it's maybe so good that like the characters are written so well and so diabolical that it's hard to like it. It's
that's definitely part of it. For
yeah,
sure.
I think that is, yeah. Just to give an example, like I think I don't love The Last of Us Part 2, but like it makes me think.
You can appreciate what they're trying to do.
Yeah, like it's so different from like a character perspective because like those characters are so hateable by the end.
Absolutely.
Especially Ellie, like holy shit. And that's why I'm interested to see like what happens with the show, and like I'm interested to see if the fan base turns on Ellie because I feel like show watchers can be a lot more dick suckerish to things like really ride or die like a character or something like that. So
and that's where like the internet mattering thing kind of comes into fact. Like I'm wondering how, like I think Last of Us did fine part 2 like streaming wise and views wise and stuff like that. But the online discourse is very much that it was not great.
Yes.
So
and
I'm curious.
I think we talked about it, and I would agree that it was not better than season 1.
100%. So, and that's one thing I'd be curious to see how much that truly does translate into the viewership and the normies that are watching the show.
Do you think Game of Thrones, like even now, we're I think we're about like 7 or 8 years removed from that season finale? Do you think like I feel like I feel like we've chilled a bit with the Game of Thrones chicanery and shittery all over it, but I still feel like that show is tainted by that.
I was going to
last
say,
season.
I still think that show has absolutely still carries the stink of like whenever you talk to someone about it, wow, that last season really fucked everything up. Is I feel like
Yeah,
the first thing out of
yeah.
everyone's mouth.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame too because you always get those clips on YouTube or whatever, at least I do, on Reels, where it's just a scene of fucking them talking in a room, and like from the first couple seasons you're like, wow, this was so entertaining just being this. And then they had to like jump into this whole rigmarole. I don't know.
And that is something where I look back and I look at the internet discourse and the discourse that was happening, in my circles at work or with friends, and everyone was kind of negative on it. Even the people who were positive about it were a bit negative. Me being one of them. And I was just like, I'm so sick of negatively talking about Game of Thrones. I don't even care anymore. But like everyone was negging on it. So there is some truth there. And I'm just kind of using the law of majority that like, I guess if everyone thinks it's bad, like there must be something wrong,
right? Yeah.
Like there must be something wrong, and it doesn't like again,
Absolutely.
it's nuanced.
Right.
You have to talk about it to get down to business and really figure it out. But like with anything, I think that's why podcasts are great. I was recently asked in an interview why I like being on camera or what I like about it, and I'm like, I've never had anyone ask me that before, and I said that twice because I needed to like think about it. I'm like, no one's ever asked.
It's
me
funny. Well, and I feel like that kind
that.
of shows that that's not even really what's at the forefront of your mind.
Yeah,
like, it's
I
funny.
mean,
I kind of forget the camera is there
Right,
sometimes.
I guess I like being on camera. I don't mind it. I'm those kind of roles and like, that skill set is pretty natural to me. It's not natural to a lot of other people.
100%.
But I think my answer was like, I think I just like talking about things. I like talking through things because like I think things are not black and white, and things require like conversation to like get to the
especially
bottom
when
of like,
you're
why we
talking
like
about-
things. And I'm not saying every podcast we do is like the most fucking big brained thing ever. It's definitely not. Sometimes we are just very simpatico
Shooting
on
the shit.
topics, and
Yeah.
it's positive or it's negative or it's a mix of both. And then like me and Trio, we have to do a little bit more work to talk about things because it's like, well, why do you think it's shit? And like, we kind of
Definitely,
have to go
and-
back and forth.
It's easy. This is our side hustle, if you will. We do it on the weekends as a hobby. So sometimes I do feel like, all right, I need to prepare my thoughts a little bit more as I come in today. I don't want to just come in and shoot off the hip, and take a little bit more preparation. And I think that is conducive to a conversation. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you're so full of like, I don't know, opinions on something that it is easy to just come in and rapid fire off. But there is something, to sitting here and preparing and trying to really kind of feel out your thoughts on something. And it's, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't enjoy doing it every weekend.
And that's something that's not happening online very often.
Oh, definitely. I mean, dude,
like,
social media is the worst place to do.
I consume 12-hour 24-hour video essays on Skyrim, and Partition TV is who I'm talking about. He did a 24-hour video essay on Skyrim.
Damn.
It's extensive. It's very negative. But it didn't change my opinion about it. I was watching it as I was finishing up my playthrough of Skyrim a few years ago.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I see what he means. And then he's comparing it to Oblivion and kind of like how like Oblivion was kind of better. But now that I've replayed Oblivion with the remaster, and I'm like, I don't know what I think about more. I think I need to play Skyrim again or something like that. Like your opinion is constantly evolving. Your thoughts are constantly evolving. Nothing stays the same. Again, I mentioned earlier, I'm sure if we sat down to review a game we reviewed 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it would probably be a different review. Like I think it would be, I think there are games that we could sit down and probably have the exact same opinion about it, but the stuff that's more divisive, like by nature, or like I don't know, like a Spider-Man movie, those are really divisive, at least with me. And like you brought up Far From Home earlier, I'm sure we're gonna have like a much different conversation about it because it's just a different time. We're different people.
I was gonna say,
lots changed.
I think if you even release, like, I think the Sam Raimi trilogy is top tier, especially the first two. But I think if you like release those now, I'd be curious to see what the discourse is like around something like that.
Spider-Man 3 is a movie that I think a lot of people dislike, and a lot of people didn't like when it came out. But there's something I think about it that people still like.
I've come around on a little bit for sure.
I don't think it's a coming around. I think it's like an acceptance of what it is.
For sure. And listen,
and what it's not.
It's you're never going to be able to take out the nostalgic aspect of things too, especially when it comes to older things. That's always going to play a part. But it is an interesting idea, and I don't know. I this sounds so kumbaya bullshit. Whatever. I don't know. I would be nice if we could get past the negativity of it all when it comes to these types of conversations. That's not to say that you can't have a negative opinion on something or dislike something, obviously.
Right.
And I think there are many things out there deserving of criticism and negative coverage. I mean, I'd like to think that we are negative when we need to be, especially when it comes to a game or something that we're talking about. But I don't know, man. It does just, I don't know, it hurts me a little sometimes. And it shouldn't. It's an online conversation. I realize that. And, you should never if someone doesn't like something and you like something, just enjoy that thing. Try not to let someone else's thoughts affect you like that.
As somebody who's in a similar situation to me, you being that person,
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. When somebody comes up to you sort of casually and asks, what'd you think of this? Do you sometimes feel like you can't really give them the answer you really want to give them because we don't really have enough time here to give that answer?
To a degree,
like,
yeah.
It's like your question is actually way bigger than you could ever imagine to me. I can't just, it's going to be hard for me to actually give you my full opinion in about 30
and it really
seconds.
depends on, if they are... I've had that. And it usually comes down to, should I see it? And what did you think about it? And then what did I think about it usually comes down to very broad strokes. Yes. You can't... You're never going to be able to give them the full digestive...
Yeah, sometimes I'm
it's going to be like, you know what?
How much time ago?
I boil it down to, I enjoyed it. I think you should see it. Rather than, really trying to dive into my deep thoughts. Whereas if I didn't like it... and I was not a fan, I would be like, I wasn't a fan, I thought this wasn't so great, maybe a broad stroke thing, I wouldn't recommend seeing it. That's usually kind of what I try to boil it down to. Because, you're never going to be able to give them, and most people don't want, your full digestive thoughts. They want just, your kind of quick elevator pitch,
That's
too.
what I hate. I fucking
Sorry.
hate that. No, not you,
Yeah.
not every phone. I hate that about things where, if I'm asking somebody a question, I would, or if somebody's asking me a question, I would hope they would want to hear whatever I had to say. I mean, obviously, if I'm keeping them for an hour and going on about something, that's a little different. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people ask me, it's well, what did you think?
Right.
When somebody asks me about a Marvel movie, I know they are asking me because
they're curious
of who I am.
Right.
But yeah, I don't. They're not looking for me to sit here for an hour
bullshit.
and review the movie. But I think they are looking for something a bit more than a surface
just surface level. Yes, no,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes it's sometimes I'm talking to somebody I don't know, and it's I don't know who this person is, but I got opinions for days about this shit. I don't think they just talk to. Yeah. Or sometimes I feel like that where I'm just
for sure.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
not that I feel like I have to hold back, but I'm this is such a great conversation, nuance, but I'm at a party and I'm trying to mingle.
Well, it's something you care about,
it's
and
the best.
I could imagine it's the same if you like football, if you're into something else, some other specific hobby. What did you think of the Jets last fucking season? Whatever. I'm sure, there's that sensation inside you to really dive deep into it, and that's what this type of stuff is to us, for sure. We are passionate about it, definitely.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame that this is kind of the conversation where we like things and then as time goes on they just get worse.
Or just or even just even the conversation around them gets worse. Not even necessarily BioShock is that specific thing. I fucking adore that game. I will play that every probably couple years. And then someone will come up and be like, that game is shit. And I'm like,
it's kind of like an apple. You pick up an apple, it's fresh, it's ripe, you just got it from the store, you take a bite, oh, it's great. You leave it there, and by the time you come back a week later, it's not going to taste as good.
Well, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same. But it's maybe that's a bad analogy, but it's.
I get what you're trying to say.
It's just time decays things.
Yeah, or time changes things, whether it be for the better or for the worse. I mean, I've had games where, you come back to it and you love it more. Movies where I've I felt like Superman on that second view. I was like, oh, I like this more.
Yeah,
and I want to see
Man of Steel is a movie I really did not think much of when I first saw it.
Right. Yeah.
Despite my love of Zack Snyder, especially with BVS, I was never a huge Man of Steel fan. And I think about that, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Yeah. And I like it more in hindsight. When we watch it,
well,
I'm
it's
this
funny.
is such a good movie.
Even
why did we not think it was good back then?
Well, my love for even comic books, I feel really
and
came
through. I think the conversation has come up with Man of Steel too.
Oh, I would agree for sure. And even just things develop as you get older. Absolutely. Things develop as you get older. Your opinions change. Your interests change. I mean, my interests in video games and movies and stuff like that really has not faded over the years. This has been this is my hobby. This is the stuff I focus on. And, that's just how it works sometimes. But, other people fade into different things, go into different stuff. They find new interests. I don't know.
I don't want to cut our conversation short. I want to make sure.
No, yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
I'm really actually enjoying this. This got much deeper than I thought it was going to. What I don't know. We were talking about coming prepared to a podcast because I was talking to Trey. I'm like, do you have anything for me? Because I'm trying to I don't need an outline for this. I just kind of want to get my mind kind of churning like a few hours, days beforehand, so I can kind of come in and be a little bit better. Like I always as soon as we start, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have a game off the top of my head, even though I was thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, Spider-Man 2. We talk about that all the time. That's a recent one. But like, do you have anything else that you want to go into?
I feel like we kind of went through mostly everything I was talking about within that. Let me see though. I'll go back to my list really quick. Spider-Man, even like, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of conversation about around Deadpool and Wolverine now. It's like that movie actually
because the member berries are rotten and decayed.
But I would even disagree. I think that movie's well done and uses those characters in an interesting and fun way, especially when it comes to the specific characters that it takes and uses, like the rejects and kind of cast outs of that universe. I don't know. I just think that movie deserved the praise it got, and now it's kind of sinking down in a way that I don't agree with.
So here's a point we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Is that a reflection of the movie or the MCU? It's a reflection of the MCU,
absolutely
not
part
the
of it.
movie.
Well, and
but the MCU is just coming down with everything else.
Well, and I would even say that was an issue with Star Wars Outlaws. I said at the time, it had two things going against it. One was that it was a Star Wars thing, and the other thing was that
it happened just to be Star Wars.
That it's Star Wars, and then the other thing that it was made by Ubisoft. Those are two things that are crossing at a time that you did not want to cross. And, I think that definitely did not help that game.
So what would you say to, like, Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor? Because they don't fall prey to that.
I don't think the intense Star Wars... I don't know why. Maybe it was just as bad at those times of those releases. It just felt like when Outlaws came out, there was like this specific crux of just like seriously fuck Star Wars. And then again, you have this other layer of it was a female lead and you have dumb fucks online. Just
she doesn't look hot.
Which by the way,
she looks hotter in real life.
If you think that she doesn't look hot, you're gay. Anyways, I just don't, if you don't think she looks hot, you didn't think Ellen Ripley looked hot. But I digress. I think those things absolutely, that's all I'm saying.
A valid point.
I think those things absolutely contribute, and that's just that's the society that we're living in right now, Gooch. We live in a society, and it's just what it is at the moment. So I got very animated there. I'm sorry. It's just
no.
It's
Don't
interesting, and I am glad we talked about this because it was something that has absolutely been on my mind. I feel like, especially this last year.
It's a weird topic because I feel like it's like, again, it's one of those topics like you kind of have to be prepared to talk about like we are now. It's not something that it's like we have some bullets and we can just kind of go over those bullets. It's
nebulous.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's and I kind of like bringing up those topics. I think next month, I'm gonna announce it now. We're doing it. I'm committing. We're doing it whether we have a guest or not. Whatever. We're doing the Too Many Games podcast next year, and I've been talking about that for so long, and we've talked about it like 4 or 5 times on this podcast.
Not to confuse them with the Too Many Games thing, the panel.
Yeah.
This is a topic called There Are Too Many Games.
Are there too many games?
I like that, yeah.
That there is so much content, and it's not just about games, it's about movies and TV shows, and it's like you cannot possibly play everything. There's just not enough time. And you fall opinion to that, and I happen to be one of those people with Metal Gear Solid. I haven't played a lot of the games, but I've consumed a lot. Are these people even playing the games they're shitting on? Or are you just reading information and regurgitating what you've seen on Reddit, your circles, whatever?
Right.
A lot of that is happening, where these people have definitely... like. There's been this big question in video games journalism where have these people actually played these games? What are these people playing? It's basically like, let me see your gamer card.
Yeah.
And I think about that in terms of our podcast. It's like me and Trio play a lot of the same games, but definitely a different sect of games for sure.
And we have a different style to a degree for sure in how we play some of those games and how we tackle them.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad, and sometimes it's like, I want to kind of play Lost Soul side to be like, and I think about it, and it's just like, I am playing not just the AAA games.
Right.
And I get on my Instagram, and I'm like, this is a game that I'm buying that, like, isn't Call of Duty. It's not Death Stranding 2.
Sure.
It's not Silent Hill 2 remake.
Right, yeah.
It's something you probably never heard of, and I'm paying my money to basically trying out. It goes back to that point I had with not Stalker, with Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, when I was like, we need to be going out and paying full price for these games and kind of like trying them out, because
Like a RoboCop even, yeah.
yeah, I think the thing of that conversation was like, so you're basically telling people to spend money blindly. Yeah, almost. It's kind of like you kind of need to, like, if you can, and maybe if the time is right, take a little bit of a risk on a game. Buy something that you think is interesting, that you haven't seen a ton about, that you haven't seen talked about. Form your own opinion and sort of be like the champion of that game, or the opposite. It's like, yeah, this game isn't that good, like a Bloober game or something like that. I feel like a lot of people, especially with the Silent Hill 2 remake that came out, and a lot of people were talking about Bloober's catalog like they have played everything. I'm sure a lot of those people probably haven't touched many of Bloober's stuff.
I'd be curious to go back
I've
to their old
only
stuff.
played the original Layers of Fear. And that doesn't really speak highly of like what Silent Hill 2 remake is. That's a great game. Chronos is their own IP, and I'm interested to. I don't know if we're gonna sit down and review that, but I'm interested to hear about it from terms of like, they have Silent Hill under belt. Obviously, the Chronos was being made in
Conjunction.
Thank you. I was going to say collaboration in conjunction with it. And, I guess now they're moving on to the original Silent Hill and doing that, which is a smaller game than Silent Hill 2 and probably a little bit less stakes, which is interesting that they started with the game with a lot of stakes. Anyway, just because there's so much nuance. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's nuance to this, and like, yeah, you can't possibly play everything. Not like, I don't know. Like, it's unrealistic to think one person has opinions about everything, and they're all highbrow, 100% like informed opinions. Like, somebody's opinion on something is probably shit. Right. Somebody who isn't watching Marvel movies but shitting all over them is very easy to do nowadays.
Yeah.
But like, they're probably not the people you should be talking or listening to about Marvel movies. You should probably be listening to us, people who consume, I would say, a 90% of it. I mean, like,
Come to us.
we didn't. We've
been there from the beginning, literally.
Yeah, I mean, but like, and it's not
No
like
big deal. No,
we didn't review Ironheart. We're probably not going.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm like, I want to watch that show, but like we've hit a certain point now. It's like where like, I've noticed our views tank on a lot of Marvel stuff.
I noticed that too.
They have not been good.
They're really
and
not.
It's probably because nobody's
It's
watching.
like 20 or 24. Yeah, no, they're not good. I noticed that too, actually.
And that was sort of why I don't want to review Ironheart. Not because I don't want to watch it, but I didn't want to watch it at the moment. But like, I don't want to race to watch something that like probably isn't going to help what we do here.
No, for sure.
Superman got great views
thing-
because people went to go see Superman. People were talking about Superman.
You're right.
That's not a movie I've come down on since that's come out. I don't think I will.
Yeah, I agree, Gooch. I can't help but emphasize everything you just said. Honestly, like
I was just going off.
no,
I'm like, I gotta just stop talking. I'm like, what just happened? What did I
it
just
happened.
say?
I mean, dude, you just saw me do the same
was
thing.
in a
It's funny.
blur.
You can go on a blur like that, but yeah, no, Gooch. I think that really kind of covers everything. Honestly, I think that was a great combo. It kind of hit everything I was looking to. I don't know really how to end it other than just, like what you like and maybe not try to pay too much attention to the conversation. But also at the same time,
Put your
try to
fucking
get...
phone down, you jackass.
I also need to do that.
I need to do that.
Like 100%.
Casey Wellman, I love the kid to death, but like, he loves, like, we're playing Catan last weekend at his shore house, and he's like, dude, put the phone down. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm here.
But he's right.
Like,
But no, that's...
I'm here. I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, don't you just love 20 minutes when you're just scrolling through your phone and rotting your brain?
Yeah, but like when you're with people, I agree with him. He's
I
right.
do agree.
Like I think, and I've been trying to, even just rotting my brain like by myself, like we've talked about before, I could pick up my phone so easily while I'm already on my big screen playing a video game. I don't need to. I really do try to like keep it out of my
Yeah,
hand.
that's something I've talked about over the years,
Yeah.
is like the attention span playing a game, and it's how like during a cutscene I'll just like
Even just in
instinctually pick
general.
up my phone and start fucking around on it for
Right.
no reason at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Cooch. I'm happy we had this conversation. I think it ended up being a fun one.
Great topic, man. Thank you for bringing that to the table.
Absolutely. I'm happy it was a good one. And I'm happy you all were able to join us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really do appreciate your time, You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search us on your service of choice, Delco Nerd Network. We got a Facebook page, a Discord channel, all of that stuff will be linked down below. You can find us on all the social medias as well, at Delco Nerds, on anything with an @ We have a website, delconerdnetwork.com, where you can find all this information. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We're happy to get back to you. Also, if you guys could leave us a like, a subscribe, leave us even a review on your podcast service of choice. We really do appreciate it. It goes a really long way of helping us with that, like SEO, getting us in the algorithm. You know, just goes a country mile, as they say.
If you made it this far, fucking leave a comment, please. It really helps.
It really would be great. Or even
share it with your friends. I know you're fucking in a Discord, not in our Discord, but you should be in our Discord. You're in some sort of Discord. You're in some sort of community. Just share it out. Hey, I like this conversation. You guys should.
If you do like the conversation,
I try to do that with shit I watch, and sometimes it's like shouting to the void. Go watch this 7-hour video essay.
Of course,
you know? It's like I don't know. Like
no, but
you're attempting. It's
that gets people there. And listen,
Right.
we appreciate it. We appreciate anyone who shows up here every week with us. But other than that, for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.